I talked to you about about a month and a half ago about the situation with my kids.
Mm-hmm.
But not even to go back into the story, I want to let you know all the advice that I listened to from your videos and stuff like that. We won our case and we got all 5 of our kids back.
Wow. The Secret, How to Fight Child Protective Services and Win. I'm joined this evening by attorney Elizabeth Jacobo and by the therapist Brian Hamilton. You know, let's take another call right now. Let's talk to Luis from Arizona. Luis, did you have a story to tell or a question to ask?
Well, actually, I have a thank you. I talked to you about about a month and a half ago about the situation with my kids.
Mm-hmm.
But not even to go back into the story, I want to let you know all the advice that I listened to from your videos and stuff like that. We won our case and we got all 5 of our kids back.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you. And me and my wife, we want to thank you and my children. Say thank you.
Thank you, David.
Well, yeah, that makes me feel good. I'm glad this worked out for you.
Yes, it did. It worked out beautifully. So like I said, my wife and I just wanted to thank you very much. I listened to your number one advice and it was to concentrate on getting your kids back.
Versus what?
Versus being confused, making my own rules, trying to make my own strategy, how I'm going to fight this case and these people that were against me. I just simply got into it.
Now, is your case over? Is it closed down?
Right now, all we doing is going through family things, family counseling. Since the kids were gone for so long, we got family counseling in place through an agency here in Phoenix, Arizona, which should be, they say, at least about 45 days that we have to do this, but that's nothing. We're good.
Okay. You know, Brian, what should they be concentrating on as far as their counseling so they can get this case closed out and behind them?
Well, I think probably the biggest issue is just talking with the family about like what emotional issues have come up with, for you. A lot of time there are issues that are related to separation trauma. And so just kind of being able to talk about those issues and being able to address them. One of the treatments that I use a lot of times with families that have gone through trauma like that is something called attachment narrative therapy. And it's basically using stories and things to kind of demonstrate to the child how much they are still loved. To take things to make up stories essentially that are allegories for what's going on in their life. So as an example, like if they're, you might use kind of the idea of like, a little lost puppy who was separated from their parent and the efforts that the parent went through to get them back. So how old are your children?
14, 13.
Okay. So I would say probably just the biggest issue there for them at that age is kind of talking to them is just being there for them as a father, engaging in activities that they're involved in. Even if it's something just like video games, being able to sit with them and either watch or play with them so that that way they can start to feel that connection again with their father after having been, away for so long. So, and then I think just being emotionally aware, being there for them, being able to say things like, like, I understand what you're going through. I want to do what I can to try and help you get through this emotional issue, through these emotional issues. and just validating what's happening. There may be issues where, where they may be angry, possibly just because of the fact that they've been separated for so long.
Yeah.
And being able to just say, like, yeah, I hear you, and I'm sorry that happened. Even if it feels like, well, like, hey, it wasn't my fault, more just being able to say, like, no, I hear what you're experiencing. And I apologize that happened. And this is what I'm doing going forward to make sure that you feel supported and cared for. And so that we can, heal as a family.
Yes, because my son keep asking me, he's like, I still don't understand why they took us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I would like to give him a solid answer,
Mm-hmm.
But that'll come. And I know we know it will.
Yeah. And I think for him right now is just kind of recognizing that maybe there aren't answers, that this just is kind of how things happened. But this is what we're doing going forward in order to make up for what happened. So that way he starts to see that there's a future as opposed to focusing on the past.
Yeah. Well, like I said, once again, thank you, everybody, especially you, Mr. Davis. Thank you very much. You're outstanding.
Hey, Luis, do me a favor. Tomorrow, call me at my office and leave a message for me with your number and your name, because I'd like to talk to you about a couple other things, with respect to your case. My phone number is 888-888-6582, 888-888-6582. All right, Luis?
Okay.
Hey, Luis,
thank you
for calling, and thank you for listening. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. A couple of callers have mentioned about watching my videos. I have a YouTube channel, and it's Vincent W. Davis, I think lawyer or trial lawyer, something like that, but just Google me or you search me on YouTube. And I have a lot of videos on there about giving advice about dealing with CPS cases in California. And although I'm not licensed in another state, sometimes, the advice might be able to be used in your state, but you should check with your attorney in your state to make sure that I'm giving you good advice for your state. Any comments, Ms. Jacobo?
No, it just really makes me happy when, parents get an opportunity to have their children back. And, because that's the best feeling. I think that's why I still do the job, when you get to see the kids go home. That's cool.
Yeah. All right. We're going to take another break now. We're at the top. My engineer's saying we still have a couple minutes. Mr. Hamilton, there's something that I wanted to ask you. Have you ever thought about doing like group coaching to a large number of people?
It is something that, that I have, thought about doing. It's particularly, I've doing like group therapy, those kinds of things. I have, done presentations for groups on things like cognitive behavioral therapy. In regards to this, one of the things that they talk about in terms of like litigation abuse, which was what I was discussing, is making sure that judges and lawyers are aware of the things that can happen psychologically in the courtroom and being able to try and help not only their clients, but also, understand like what their own biases might be. And so, that's certainly something that I would be open to trying to.
Mr. Jacobo mentioned about you being perhaps an expert witness in some of our cases, but I'm thinking also about asking you or wanting to know if you want to develop some type of course for lawyers and judges and perhaps talk on our, we have another Facebook page called Family Reunification Services, Accountability and Motivation.
Sure.
And you would be great for that. Okay, now we have to take a break. It's the top of the hour. We'll be back. This is The Secret, How to Fight Child Protective Services and Win.